Boardroom, Chapter 21, Part A, 3997 BC, Chewy. The bejeweled form eased across the soft ground in an S-shaped path. It slowly picked up speed and then stretched out its four pairs of wings. Shining in the sunlight on the horizon, it made for a spectacular picture of color and graceful motion as it eased into the musky morning air. It sailed over the tree line and after several minutes of searching spotted the target. It slowed, veered to the right, and lit softly on the most unique tree in the garden. The tree was some 1,000 feet tall, but also 1,000 feet wide at its base. Its leaves were all colors imaginable, and from a distance it had the appearance of a surreal painting. Despite its variable shapes, sizes, and colors of leaves, it bore only one kind of fruit. They were large, perfect white orbs with gold stripes encircling them in a continuous spiral. The orbs would spin slowly in the breeze, creating a spectacular sight to the beholder. It reminded Luke of an animal in this garden, a zebra. He thought Adam had named it. He curled around a huge angular branch at the eye level of the happy couple and relaxed. Yesterday had been the most difficult day of his life. He couldn't remember how old he was. He had lost his son, his brother, his father, and mother all in one fell swoop. He could not sleep. The only thing that kept him going was the euphoria of power he had felt and was still feeling. All night long he tossed and turned. It was not Jezebel's noises of passion that kept him awake. It was second thoughts after second thoughts. He knew he could still go back and shake Pop's hand and everything would be hunky-dory. But he couldn't bring himself to do it. Fully 1/3 of the intelligent beings in all the universe, or universes, he wasn't sure which and it didn't matter, were now counting on him. Little Luke was now the reticent savior. He did not want such a job. Sure, he was a handsome angel, some had said the handsomest of all, but he was inherently shy and did not like crowds. He was a thinker. Bells was the better leader and loved the limelight, but at times his impetuosity got out of control. As Luke tossed and turned in bed, he knew in his heart that he, the handsome, shy angel, was the only one who had the nerve to stand for what he knew was right. Only he, little Luke, was capable of standing up to Pops, his creator. He alone wielded a power that was second only to Pops. As he tossed and turned, he came to the realization that he had even more power than Pops. Pops couldn't make him, little Luke, take his hand. As Luke thought and thought some more, he warmed and more to the fact that he, Luke, had more power than anyone in all the universe. Oh, he regretted losing his family, but this was bigger than family. He and actually everyone now had a chance for complete freedom, including from Pop's oppressive ways. His little 10 minutes of fame had provided him with a substantial increase in power. That feeling of power gave him the warmest, most wonderful feeling he had ever experienced. Good food, or what he could taste of it, didn't come close, nor did winning a big game. Even great sex, as he was witnessing, didn't hold a candle to the feeling that power gave him. Power over others. Now he knew why Pops was so stubborn yesterday. Pops liked power and was not about to give it up to him, to the little slave, to anyone. As Luke now stared out over the shimmering garden, a smile came to his serpentine face as he realized he was now the most powerful being in the universe. It was difficult, but he finally wiped the smile away. In his heart he knew he was number one, and this happy couple would soon become putty in his wings. Adam had Eve on a short leash since the two recent encounters in their garden called Eden. The two strangers had really disturbed him. Eve had blown it off as Pops had said they were just isolated occurrences, but Adam was not so sure. He wondered just what they, that is, the two strangers, were after. He didn't think either he or Eve would ever betray one another, but if other strangers would happen by, he feared they might harm them or maybe kidnap Eve. He had only talked to Pops briefly about the encounters. Pops had reminded him of the garden rule about the tree, but Adam wasn't so sure that wasn't just a smokescreen. Maybe Pops was up to something. A hint of doubt about Pops kept eating at the edge of his mind. He wanted, no needed, to sit down with his father and iron things out, but had not had the time. The apple harvest was in full swing, and Pop said he was occupied in another part of the universe for a few days. And so he was. Adam had difficulty falling asleep the past couple of nights. After loving his lovely bride, he would lay awake for a while and think. A bad habit, he surmised, but also hard to break. He, when fully satisfied, went to sleep like a light. Adam, once he finally got there, would go into a deep sleep. He would usually wake him at sunrise, but this day she got up a little earlier than usual. She too was disturbed by the encounter with strangers and suspected there would be more. At times she caught herself half hoping there would be more, but would chastise herself. She had everything she wanted, a perfect world, but was it enough? She knew it should be, but at times there was just a tiny seed of doubt. She got up early to go scouting early in the morning at first light. She thought if she found another one of them, she could maybe find out what they were up to. She had fully explored their garden and knew that the only way someone could enter from the outside was through the massive Grand Canyon about 50 miles east of their home. Otherwise, their world was surrounded on all sides by water. Pops had taken them around on a tour of the entire planet by ship, but they had not gone out on their own yet. When he would ask Pops about going out on their own into the rest of the world, all he would say was, "Someday." She left the house at first light. It was about 6:30 a.m., and she was nearing the valley that led into the Grand Canyon just as the sun hit the horizon. As she stared out towards the canyon, the massive orange glow began to push over the canyon's edge. When the orb got about halfway over the horizon, a bright glare suddenly blinded her. She reflexively closed both eyes and then squinted in the direction of the glare. She walked forward at an angle in the direction of the glare. As she squinted in the now increasing light of the sun, she caught her breath. There, perched in the tree right at eye level, for her was approximately 20 feet above the hush grass carpet, and not 6 feet from her pretty little nose, was the most beautiful creature she had ever seen.